Hi, welcome back. So today I'm gonna be doing this old kind of old trending thing from about a year ago, and it's called making my ideal capsule makeup capsule collection. It was kind of coined by the makeup artist Harry Makes It Up. Amazing content. She's an amazing artist. Yeah, there's so many like great product recommendations that she gives and like tips and tricks and whatnot. And she's a very like minimal bag person. Like her kit is very minimal, her personal makeup collection is very minimal, and her overall looks are very minimal. And she always emphasizes like a color story, like what are your personal color stories and what products can you use, like less is more. So like what kind of products can you use more than one place on your face, essentially. And so you are carrying around less products, creating less waste, consuming less materials. You get it. So yeah, she did this about a year ago and I really enjoyed it, and a lot of people kind of caught on and they were making like what would be in my makeup capsule collection. And sometimes when people declutter, they're like, this is my capsule collection, like my actual minimalist collection. And that can look different for all kinds of different people. Like some people love like really bold lips, so their stuff is going to be super lip centric. I love skin. Like complexion is like where I shine, and so whittling it down to like just a couple of products for my complexion was kind of hard, but it was also kind of easy because I know what I like. And what I like is a glowy base that is kind of like a nudie, sun-kissed bronzy look, and I like that for the eyes as well, and I'm not afraid of glitter on the eyes, so that was pretty easy as well. I also preferred like either a lip tint or a nude matte lip. And so, you know, it's just kind of an easy thing when you actually sit down and do it. And it's a really fun thing to do if you're just kind of like bored with your everyday look, or if you're overwhelmed by a larger makeup collection, or it's also like a really useful way to start building a makeup collection. So you're not just buying products that you're potentially not going to use. I didn't include this one part in my personal collection because it's just like not who I am that much, but Harry emphasized putting in like a wild card piece of makeup, so like a really bold lip, or like a graphic liner, or like something that's like kind of like wild and funky and fresh. But you know, I'm just like really not into that all that much, so mine's just very simple, very minimal. And but if that's you, then I would suggest you do that. Let's just get into the look, and these are what I chose. So the first product in my makeup capsule will be the Auric Glow Lust. I have this in the shade Selenite. And so the reason that I chose this is because it has more coverage than the Hollywood Flawless filter, but you can thin it out to be as like, you know, sheer as the Hollywood Flawless filter. I like to apply this on the high points of my face, sheared out, and then blend out a concealer, because I don't really use any sort of high coverage complexion products like foundations or anything like that. I barely even reach for my skin tints anymore. But this mix, it just provides like beautiful nourishment for the skin, beautiful glow, and it's multifaceted, so you can use this mixed in with a complexion product, underneath a complexion product, or over top of a complexion product. So I'm just gonna take this, just one pump with a sponge, and blend this from basically underneath the eye up into the side of my face on my cheekbone. And this is very glowy, very glowy, and it'll provide that kind of like primed, nourished base, while also acting as like a highlighter or giving you just a little extra coverage. This is worn mixed in with things, and also just by itself as like a no makeup look. Like it's such a beautiful product. My complexion, I like to have, I don't want to say a variety, but I like to have two options. So one is a medium coverage concealer that is a little bit more emollient and hydrating, and the other one is a high coverage concealer that is a little bit more matte. And I feel like the two consistencies together creates a very beautiful base. So I'm just going to be putting the Kosas underneath my eyes, just little teeny tiny dabs. And then like a little bit in here and maybe a little bit in here. And I'm just gonna like let that sit. Then with a brush, I'm gonna go into the Nars Soft Matte Concealer and just kind of spot conceal little places that might be a little bit more red. Something that's really great about this concealer is that you can shear this out with a sponge and use it all over the face as long as you have like a dewy base underneath it to help, you know, like give it a little bit more emollients and spread. Or you can spot conceal. Like it's just such a wonderful product. And the Kosas is very hydrating and also provides adequate coverage as well. And now that I have everything laid down with my brush, I'm gonna go in and just make sure everything is evenly blended with my sponge. This will give you a very like even complexion without really taking away any coverage. And this step you can kind of like push and pull, like go back and forth throughout like your makeup routine. So just because you've done a little bit of concealer doesn't mean you can't go back later and add just a little bit more coverage in areas after you have the rest of your face on. And that will prevent just like putting too much makeup on in general. Next product I'm going in with is my Westman Atelier contour stick in the shade Biscuit. It's this nice neutral leaning contour shade that I feel like doesn't pull too gray on me for having such a green undertone, and also like it just effortlessly blends out. And something I really like about this is that when you contour like more delicate areas like in through like the eye socket and the nose, it doesn't ever look muddy or just kind of wonky, you know, because it just blends out so easily. And so just a little bit creates such a subtle, beautiful look. So I'm just gonna pat this out. I find that this product blends best when you pat versus swiping. And it kind of just does the work for you. Like I barely even have to look in my mirror when I do it. I also like to take this up through my eyes like I was saying, but I like to take it on kind of a fluffy blender brush and just kind of lay out like a contour shape for my eyes and just provide just a little extra to that area. And it's so easy, so simple. And then don't forget to add just a little bit to the sides, like right here. That'll create a little bit more like lift. So yeah, I'm just taking this into the socket. It's kind of like an eyeshadow base. And then just a teeny tiny amount down the sides of my nose. Especially right in here. Like this is a really like forgotten area. And helps define your face a little bit more, like this little socket. Okay, and with your concealer sponge, you can just kind of go in and tap a little bit. Make sure everything is nice and soft. And since I am a cream lover, I also like to go in with a cream blush. I just chose Playground by Victoria Beckham Beauty for today, because if you watched my last video of like all of my blushes, you see that I have a type, all kind of like a warm terracotta bronzy nude. And that's one of the reasons that I went in with a contour for my makeup capsule collection, is that I didn't want to have too much like bronze on the cheek, because I do go for more of like a bronzer-esque blush. So by using the contour stick in Biscuit, that gave me a little bit more chisel, where this is going to provide that sun-kissed warmth. So I'm just going to take the same brush and just dab that warmth onto my cheeks. This is a formula that stays on my cheeks all day. Like this like never steers me wrong. It never looks bad. It's never like too much. I never feel like too done up or like undercooked in a way. Like I feel like it's just always appropriate, always just really, really lovely. And something that's really cool about cream products is that you could basically use them anywhere on the face. So like the contour stick, I'm going to be using this blush in the crease of my eye look here. And this will, you know, marry all of the colors that I've now put on my skin to provide like a little bit more of like a natural contour effect. And I'll just run that through ever so slightly. And you can put this on your lips too. Like a lot of cream blush products are made for eyes, lips, and cheeks. If powder is your preference, using a face palette in your capsule collection is a really good idea because then you just have everything with you all the time and you can use the blush, bronzer, and highlighter / contour in the crease and on the lids of your eyes and have a complete like either bronzy or pinky blush type eye look, you know? Like it's just, makeup is just because it says it's a highlighter doesn't mean you can't use it as an eyeshadow or a crease shade or whatever. Like, you can use makeup for basically whatever you want. They're just artist tools, you know? I'm gonna do one more quick little blend because I'm pretty content with the coverage that I have, but I just want to make sure that all of my layers are kind of just melting together. Okay. And so since it's a capsule collection and I'm using products that are, you know, can be used for more than one purpose, I'm gonna go back in with my Glow Lust and just take like a little, like a quarter of a pump, like an itty bitty little tiny amount. And I'm gonna use this as my highlighter. I think this is such a beautiful, beautiful highlighter. So the Glow Lust doesn't have as much like mica and stuff in it as the Flawless Filter. So this looks a little bit more wet looking, and I feel like it sinks into the skin a little bit more than the Hollywood Flawless Filter, but it's equally as beautiful. It just comes down to preference, but if you like one, you'll definitely like the other. You know what I mean? They're essentially like in the same like product family. I've been hearing like really weird reviews. This is total tangent, like makeup tangent, but like I've been hearing like really bad reviews on the Kosas Glow IV, basically saying that it's like, you know, following the trend of like the Hollywood Flawless Filter and the Auric Glow Lust and the iconic London radiance booster kind of thing, and also that thing that e.l.f. came out with too, but this is like a glitter bomb and people are just like, what are you thinking? Like, we don't want glitter. I mean, I want glitter on my eyes but not on my cheeks, you know what I mean? I don't know. I'm not interested. I'm not buying it. It is early. Oh my god. I've been drinking this coffee called Cinnamon Dolce. I think it's from Starbucks or something. I got it on sale at Fred Meyer, but it's very sweet. Like, I don't add any sugar or anything to it, but it is indeed dolce. Dolce for sure. So the next product is unfortunately discontinued by Tom Ford, but it's the cream and powder duo. And I chose, surprisingly, even though this wasn't in my like best one and dones, but I chose Naked Bronze. And here's why. I love the glitter topper. I think that this is such an amazing glitter topper. It's so wet looking. And since I already put that like kind of like bronzy, like sun-kissed contour throughout my crease up into my brow bone, I'm just gonna set those cream products with this glitter topper. And so this is an amazing daytime look. But if I wanted like a more sophisticated like nighttime look, or if I wanted more structure to it, I could dip into this cream product and give some shape or like extreme bronzy smokiness to this eye look and just amp it up, you know? So that's why I chose it, because it took up the least amount of space, it's the least amount of product, but it does the most work. And just look at that, that's such an amazing glitter topper. I could just keep piling this on. I've actually been wearing this a lot over top of, Hourglass Scattered Light and Smoke. It's kind of like a warm taupey glittery shade, if you're unfamiliar with it. And then I put this on top of it, and it just makes it so much, it just shines. It's just so shiny and so pretty, but also like not to the point where I look like I'm just wearing a bunch of glitter on my face. Which, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but you know, sometimes it's just a little much. But this is, it's so wet looking and so, so beautiful. I'm trying to think of like other things besides Auric that have been influenced and made similar products to this, but the Auric, I don't know if it's called the Smoke Reflect or something, but Sam Ravindal basically made like a cream and powder duo similar to this. I think Kaja, you could probably get a similar effect with a Kaja bento box eyeshadow thing. I think Westman Atelier has little potted things like this. Charlotte Tilbury, she does have like cream eyeshadows, and if you had like a wet topper, like that would be a good option as well. Or not a wet topper, but more like a glitter topper. If you use like one of her like Eyes to Mesmerize with a glitter topper, that would be a wonderful like makeup capsule collection item. But I think this is just like, it's pretty potent, it's pretty easy, and yeah, I don't know what the heck Tom Ford is thinking discontinuing these. They're just such a cult classic, luxury beauty favorite. Like, they're just such amazing products, such high quality, like they're just so good. And like brows, mascara is very like personal preference, so you know, there's no right or wrong item for this. But something I've been enjoying lately is actually this Merit mascara. So I've had this open for maybe like a week and a half, and the first couple times I used it I was pretty unsure, but now that she's had a little bit more air exposed to her, it is getting much more like voluminous, volume. There's a lot more volume, and it's just a lot, like it's making my lashes a lot thicker, like it's not as wet. I can't say that it's a true tubing formula, it just washes off easily, and like that's what I want in an eyelash product. That's what I want in a mascara, is that it gives me like a dramatic effect and it washes off easily, because I have such thick eyelashes. Like I have like 8 rows. Don't they call that like the Elizabeth Taylor mutation or something? Like she had like so many rows of eyelashes or something like that. Like, but anyways, that's what I have. I have like really thick eyelashes, and they're really long too. So like sometimes it's hard for me to review mascaras, whether they're tubing or not. And it sounds super like, you know, conceited or whatever, but like my eyelashes are so thick and so long, that most mascaras just look good on me. And so I really feel for people who like have to be super particular about their mascaras, because I technically do not, but my preference is a lightweight volumizing mascara that is either tubing or is easily removed. Like I don't like a waterproof, and I don't like something that is just super wet and hard and just kind of heavy on my lashes, and just I have to scrub and scrub and scrub. I'm trying to remember this one, I think it was like the L'Oreal Carbon Black or something like that. This one mascara, just, I could never get it out of my lashes. Like it was just a mess constantly. And I also had trouble getting the Lash Paradise out of my eyelashes too. But that one, the effect was very beautiful. That's a very beautiful mascara. What's another mascara that I just did not like? Oh, Monsieur Big. Nope. And I understand the purpose of Monsieur Big. Like Monsieur Big is like definitely like has like fiber properties to give people like volume and length and stuff. But on me, it was like a little dramatic, and also just, I don't know, I just wasn't into the formula that much. But yeah, I've been super into this Merit now that it's, you know, aging a little bit. Like it's very easy, very beautiful. But yeah, whatever mascara preference you have, just choose it. You know, I don't know. So I think for a makeup capsule collection, it is really important to have a solid, like even more than like lip products, I think it's really important to have a solid collection of lip liners. Now lip liners, they're not just for like outlining your lips or, you know, like you can use these all over your lips. Like having good lip liners, and that doesn't, a good lip liner doesn't mean an expensive lip liner, it just means a good lip liner. So you want something that is creamy enough that you can have time to blend it out, but then it sets, and so it stays. And so something that I've noticed with myself, especially when I have to work from a minimal bag, like whether it be like a travel bag, or I had to take something somewhere for someone, or I'm like on a long trip, you know what I mean? Like what I'm limited to what I can use, having a good lip liner and like a good like moisturizing lip gloss and or a chapstick or something like that, you know, it just looks really good. And so that's like kind of an everyday for me, putting on a little bit of like a nudie brown lip liner with like a chapstick or a lip gloss or something like that. Basically acts as, you know, my lip product. And so I like to have a nude warm and then a nude cool. And so these are just two examples. Like I have a bunch of lip liners that I love, but this is the Iconic Nude by Charlotte Tilbury, and then this is MAC lip pencil in the shade Oak. And so I'm just gonna go in and put a little bit of this on. Okay, so see how it's just outlined? And then I blend it. And then go in a little bit more. And then just leave that like that. Then just put a chapstick or a lip gloss over this, or if it was the cool one, do that. Like, perfect. Like everything else is pretty neutral, pretty easy, so you can basically use any type of lip color you want. But for the sake of the video, I'm just gonna show you what I chose for my like pigmented lip product, and this is the Nars, what is the actual name of it? This is the Nars Soft Matte Tinted Lip Balm, and this is in the shade Intimate. This is another like nice nudie brown kind of color. It has like a little bit of yellow in it. And since it's matte, it's gonna have a little bit like longer wearing, but since it's a balm, it's not as drying as other matte lip products. It's more of like, it's very soft and pillowy, and it has this very beautiful like vanilla fragrance to it. And if you have like your lip, like a lip treatment on underneath it, or like chapstick or whatever, like this is not going to dry out your lips, and it's going to perform very beautifully, very easily. You can also use this as like, you know, touching up your blush if you're like in a bind. Like this is a very beautiful product. I would choose would be a non-drying matte lipstick if you're choosing a more pigmented product. It doesn't have to be a nude, it could be like a bright red. You know, like it could be anything that you want, really, whatever you are comfortable in. Because remember, it's all about like the color story. So my color story is like a nudie, bronzy kind of neutral look. So yeah, this falls right into that color story, and I could basically wear this look every day and not get bored. Okay, so that is it. Those are all of the products that I would have in my makeup capsule collection. Yeah, so minimal, very easy, multifaceted, multi-use, and staying within my preferred color story. Yeah, this is just like an easy everyday look for me. It's very minimal, very quick. Yeah, I think that this is such a fun thing to do if you may have like a larger collection and you're trying to like weed down like what are my favorites, what are my most useful products, and or if you're trying to build your makeup collection but you don't want to like just start buying things. I think that products like this, like cream formulas and like glowy primers, like if that's within your like skin type preference, and doing like spot concealing versus like a full coverage foundation, But yeah, if I was to choose like any sort of like complexion product to put in a capsule collection, it would probably be the Nars Tinted Moisturizer because it is my favorite tinted moisturizer. But it's essentially just using like the Auric Glow Lust. And then, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like I don't need it. Like, I'm realizing now at where I'm at with my own makeup life that I don't need like a full coverage or an all over complexion product, that I just like to put it where I want it because I do so much in my skincare to like make sure my skin looks nice and healthy. So I want people to actually see my skin. I don't want to cover it up so much anymore. So this is a really good way, like if you are making a new makeup collection or if you're new to makeup but you don't want to buy too much, that you can, you know, pick and choose like a limited amount of products and products that you know that you're always going to use. Anyways, that's it. And I hope you enjoyed and are inspired and or whatever. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye!